Hello everybody, how you doing? Wee Paddy from across the shuck. Now, as you can see, this is named after me. Oldies but goodies, plus one. Now, what have I got for you? I was sitting going through my collection and I don't know whether, there's all different types of knife collectors, but if I like something, I tend to hang on to it. And I have an awful lot of knives. But I was going through, like, we do videos on knives, and every now and then you'll bring one out. I think I had this out in a video not so long ago, but um, I like going through sometimes and picking a knife out and using it for a day, put it back in again, use it for a day, put it back in again. And I do that with my older ones every now and then. So I thought, what about going through my knives, having a look at some of the old knives? Some of them I've seen every now and then, some you haven't seen for ages maybe, but just to let you know, they're still there and they still work. And yes, you can go out and buy your new up top of the range ones that have just come out. But all these ones that I've got here, I believe are still available, which is nice. So they're knives you can go out and get, and you're not going to spend the bigger money on them. So, except for the last one, it's the exception. But there's a reason for that, and we'll get there. We'll get that. Now, this first one is the Ganzo, the ones that started my channel. And I picked this one because I know this is available for UK people, but this is sort of a hark back, not just this one knife, which is a very good knife. This is the Ganzo FB763. And this is just an amazing big work knife. The hollowed out handles, yeah, I can live or die without them. Lovely big pocket clip on them. This has got the access lock, but watch this. This was like this from the day I got it. And this is one of the older ones. And this is in 440C, which I love. I know there's all the D2 ones out now, but I was trying to go beyond to get the oldie part of it, and this is beyond the D2, so we'll class that as oldie, but this has got one of the best access locks, and I think this is what got my head into this sort of video. I'd done a video on this the other week, or brought it out in one of the comparison videos or something, but what a great work knife. That is a great work knife. For 20 odd dollars, £20 over here. It's just, I'm not sure even what price it is. I haven't checked the prices, but Ganzos are not going to be that dear no matter what you buy. And are you getting value for money? This is one solid big knife. There's no movement in it whatsoever. Takes a screaming edge easily. And if you want a work knife, or if you want a knife to have for out in the yard or out in the garden, this is just a great big solid in your hand. I have a medium to large hand, as you know. Excuse me. But this is a super knife, and it's not something I can't see me getting rid of this because it's just a nice knife. It really is. I do genuine, but it's the action. It's a real fidgety knife. If you just want a big knife, yes, it'll do work, but you can sit at night and you can annoy your wife. This will annoy your wife without a shadow of a doubt. So I'll put that up there. That's the first one, the Ganzo FB763. And the second one is the first of two that I'm going to show you that come from Rough Rider. These are not, they're not going to be all slip joints, by the way. I think I've got 3 out of the 10 are going to be slip joints. But that's because I'm in the UK and they're the knives that I use a lot. So I've picked different types of slip joints. This one is a Rough Rider, like I said. This is the teardrop shape, and you can see why they call it the teardrop shape. And it's in buckshot bone. And just look at the way Rough Rider, you've got red liners. This is bone, proper bone. Red liners. This is a knife that costs next to nothing. It's just a gorgeous, gorgeous knife. And they do all different patterns. This is just the one that I've got in this pattern. Now, is this knife centered? No, it's off to the left. Is it touching? Not. There's no marks on it, so no, it's not touching. But it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter on a slip joint like it does in your modern knives. This is a working knife. And this is, it costs buttons. It costs buttons. You get 440A steel on it. It's just, look at that there in the hand. This is a big knife. I mean, this really is a lovely big work knife with that excellent beard, a spear point, or would you call that spear point or a drop point? I think a spear point I would call it. Yeah, spear point, drop point, whatever you like. It's just beautiful. It's got etch on the blade, but that doesn't bother me because this is going to be a work. This is not something you're going to keep as a pretty knife. This is a good, solid work knife, but I just can't believe that they could put liners in it. For the price to sell these, they're under $20 in the States, just over £20 here, but absolutely beautiful. Now, that was the Teardrop Rough Rider, and this is the next one is one of my favourites. And this is the large trapper. This is in red cherry bone. Just look at that bone. Again, this is bone, and I know it's dyed, but can you see the texture? Can you see that? It's just beautifully done. And the fit and finish on this, again, it's beautiful. I think this one actually has black liners separating the bone from the handle. It's just unbelievable. Look at the fit and finish on that. Look at that. That's as good as any slip joint I've got. That is tight. Really, really tight. And again, it's a knife. In the States, it'll be under 20. It'll be over 20 here, or over £20 here. But you got a beautiful big long American sort of clip point. And then you have the big spay blade. And I prefer this. When I'm cutting up boxes, I actually done a video using this very blade, the splay blade, to test out what the 440A was like as far as edge retention. Let me tell you, it's worth going back to see. It was quite a while ago, but it's worth going back to see. It is a beautiful blade steel. It really is a good blade steel for the price that you're getting. But listen to that, half stops. It's just a blooming good knife, full stop, for nothing. For nothing. So if you're just starting out, I mean, there's 3 knives that I've showed so far that are just outstanding as knives, just knives. And if you want them for work or you want them for your collection, they're pretty. You've seen them last 2 that are really pretty knives. And I mean, even going back to the Ganzo, look at that handle, the way it's all cut out. It's not just plain and basic. I think Ganzo went off of it. When they went to D2, they just got repetitive, and for me, they didn't excite me. So the 440 ones, I have quite a lot of my 440 ones still here with me. The next one was one of my first knives, and I believe you can still get it now. Now, San Remo make this. Land, you'll see on the blade, Land is San Remo. And this one is the 910 Plus. And this is in 12C27. And let me tell you, the heat treat they put on these knives when they brought them out, and I believe you can still get these. I think AliExpress has them. I'm not sure where it would have them in the States, but I mean, it's a San Remo type knife. The liner lock, really, really lovely liner lock. Look at that there. Solid big liner lock that you can get to easily. And look at the action. I mean, this is an old knife that's been battered, and it still has the action of a young pup that's out there. It has a blade shape that's, it's a drop point. This is a worker, again. G10 scales, full liners. Yes, I believe, are they? Yeah, one side is hollowed out. But it's just a solid big work knife. A full grip, a bigger hand, and still have room on there. Absolutely amazing. Great lock-up, just a great user. And 12C27. When it's heat treated well, it's as good as any steel that you're going to need for a day's work. As good as any. Beautiful, beautiful knife. That's the Land 910 Plus. Now, the next knife is, I bring this out so often, but I just keep bringing it out because it's an oldie, but it's a goodie. And this is the K-Bar Dozier. Listen to that snap. Listen to that snap. That's just, it gets me from the first day I got it to now. Now, I had a blue one when I first got it. I think it went in a prize somewhere, but what a beautiful, simple lockback spear point blade with a hollow grind that comes down to a really thin edge. It's just a workhorse. Now, it's an Aussie, and again, I think we do tend to get, with these modern knives, we need all these steels, and this is a fact. These knives, barring the last one, are just steels that are good, and they work. Yes, they're older, but they just work. They work for the people who had them at the time. And when I had this, I loved it. The Aussie, it is easy to sharpen. Does it hold an edge forever? No, but it holds it pretty good. Pretty good. Great little knife, drop shotty now after years, or maybe not at first, but it's just a plastic handle. That's all it is, a plastic FRN handle with a not so great pocket clip, but again, it's all right. It's just a little work knife, but this will get you through a day's work. It really is. I mean, it has a blade of just under 3 inches, so that's going to do anything for you. And it's not as flimsy as it looks. I think that people tend to look at this in a book and think, oh, that's a flimsy wee knife. There's nothing flimsy about it, let me tell you, nothing flimsy about it. It feels solid in the hand. It has a neutral grip, and it's quite deep, so it gives you a really good grip. Just excellent ergos all around. This is one of my favourite knives, full stop. I think this is what you would call an America Hall of Famer. I just think it is just a stunning knife. Stunning. So, the next one, and here's one that maybe people, especially over this side of the pond, maybe don't get to see an awful lot. This is a buck, and this is a buck 285. Now, I know there's a name for it, and I'm be dashed if I can think what the name is for it, but this was a gift to me, the 285. It's in 420HC. I'm sure that's what Buck do in their basic models, and this would be the cheaper model, and it's like a rubberized handle. Again, well, I have a medium large hand, and I can get a full grip. Much bigger, maybe that's not for you, but you can sneak up here. There is a forward choil, and you can sneak up. Again, not particularly safe, but I would do it. But I can still get a full grip back here, and there is jimping up there, and to be honest with you, it's in the plastic, not in the metal, but it actually works. It really is solid. Beautiful swedge on it, lovely looking knife. I think this is more of the ones boys use when they're going out hunting or something, because it's completely rubberized. You're not going to worry about any gunk getting in it. You can't take this apart. It's pinned construction, but after all these years, there's not a movement in this. There's no movement. Again, a buck. I mean, I've got about 3 bucks, maybe even more now, and I only got them when I started in this game here. And again, listen to that lock up. It's solid, beautiful blade shape, drop point, swedges, whatever you like. Fairly thin, but not over thin. But it's a great work knife, just a great little work knife to throw on, especially a fishing tackle box. There would be a great knife for your fishing tackle box. Absolutely great. Come back, run under the water and dry her off. Now, here's an old favourite that everybody brings out. The Tenacious. One of my first knives. Kids got me this for one Christmas. It's well and truly used, loved, still is a great big knife. And Spyderco, no matter what you think of them, the ergonomics, I have a Kershaw clip in this. It's a wee bit of a deeper carry than what was on it. But it's just so nice in the hand. The Tenacious was just built for working. And the ramp, it was the first ramped knife I'd really ever had to work with. And it is amazing. It just is an amazing knife. Liner lock, locks up lovely. Again, with Spyderco, that lock hasn't moved since I got it in 3 years. Not moved a bit. Is it drop shotty? No, but it'll close at a couple of pushes. So, I mean, it's still working well. Still working well. And a knife that you would recommend for anybody to buy now. All these are buy now knives. They're not, you wish you had bought them in the past. You can still get them. And it's Oz 8, or no, it's not Oz, it's HCR13, so no, it's not the best steel in the world, but Spyderco do a fair heat treatment, so it still works. Do you know what I mean? And here's the usual. Here's Paddy. Take a little sharpener with you if you're going to do a real hard day's work, and that'll do you lovely. But again, a yard round the house, a knife just to leave about that doesn't cost a fortune, but still works really, really well. Now, we're getting to another buck, and this is one I don't see much of on the YouTubes, and this is the little Buck 55. This is only 3.5 inches long, with a blade, a cutting length of just about 2 inches. So it's a small knife, and it's just the downsized Buck 110. That's all it is, exactly the same, the wood, the brass. I put the wee thumb stud on it for easy opening. It's the old backlock like the Buck 110. Doesn't really do that. But it just does. And that just lets me open it one-handed. But you can hear how well it opens up. No movement whatsoever. Great little sharp point. Great for picking skells out. Ideal to put in a first aid box even. Do you know what I mean? It is just a lovely little knife. it's a backlock, so it's illegal over here. But with a knife that small, do you know what I mean? You can put it in places where you're going to use it, in your bug out bags or whatever you call it. It's just a real solid little knife. I actually really, really enjoy this knife. Really enjoy it. Now, we're getting to my last three. And the next one is probably, if you were to describe a work knife to somebody, this is what I believe they would come up with. The Rat One. And this is the old Rat One in Oz 8, which I still believe has got one of the best heat treats. It's been done so well. In fact, when a lot of people have done cut tests against the D2 models, this usually is on par or even better sometimes. It's just an amazing knife. Huge big grip, incredibly comfortable. Great place to put your hand. The flattened top's lovely. There's no sharp edges on it. It is just a stunning knife. This is my round the house work knife. I've no clip on it because I just use it for around the house. It's just stunning. It's still, it doesn't, it's not drop shutty, but listen to that thwack when it comes out. There's authority for you when it comes out. How good is that? Again, there we go. That's one of my favourite work knives. If I was to recommend somebody who wants a big work knife, you can get the Rat 2 in D2 or Oz 8. To be honest with you see the difference. I don't know what it's like over in the States, but here, this is about 40 odd and a D2 is about 60 odd. I'd go for the Oz 8 every time because for me it just works as good as anything. And again, I'll point you over to that wee pen. Don't make me get it out again. This is just a cracker. A super big work knife. Now, I've sort of rushed through them. The next one is again an oldie but goodie. This is the Kershaw. Oh, it's maybe not the best flipper in the world, this, but when you load it up, it works fine. This is the Kershaw Skyline. This has near enough exactly the same shaped blade as a bug out. It is just a drop point, but it's thin behind the edge, hollow grind, nice shape, neutral handle. Once you get the forefinger in there, really, really comfortable for a large hand and down. Extra large hands, probably not for you, but it's one of those knives you can sneak up if you want to. I wouldn't do it. It's not that. I'm quite happy holding it back here. It is stunning, but you could put a forward choil in if you want. There's plenty of blade there. There is just over 3 inches of cutting. So this is a good substantial knife, but look how thin it is. Look how thin it is. And it only weighs about 2.5 ounces. So, it's not that much heavier than a bug out, and you're getting G10 and metal liner down one side where the liner lock is. Absolutely lovely. Great knife. And I still use this today. I would still bring it out and use it. I think this is probably one of the most underrated knives again. Much like the K-Bar Dozier. This Skyline, I think it's a great knife. Just a great knife. Even the looks of a Skyline. I quite like the looks of a Skyline still. I don't think it looks old. I think it looks quite modern. I like it. Anyway, there we go. What wee Paddy likes. There you are, the Skyline. Okay, that's the 10 knives that I'm going to show you. And the last one I'm going to show you is probably not as old as some of them, but the original model was old, and it's the UKPK. The UKPK came out, I think it was in BD1 or something. It might even come out in something less than that, but I think it was BD1 when the first UKPK came out. Non-locking, one-handed opening, and there's no lock, so I was looking for a back lock there. There's no lock. Oh, good old Paddy. There's no lock on it. What a lovely knife. In hand, you've got the big forward choil that the Delica never had. You have a full grip. Absolutely beautiful, skinny little knife, weighs next to nothing. In fact, I'm going to weigh this because I didn't do it, and I'm just going to let you see how much this weighs. Now, the other thing I'm going to say, this is not just for the UK market. 1.69, so it's lighter than the bug out, which is the benchmark now for light knives. This is lighter than it, okay? And the reason I'm putting that, I left this to the last, because this is the most expensive. This is an S110V, right? A super steel. And it is a super steel. It is amazing. The edge retention is marvellous. Is it a wee bit harder to sharpen? Yeah, a wee bit. You just have to go a wee bit longer. Like I keep saying, just be patient, go a wee bit longer, but you'll get there. And once you get an edge, she strops lovely. It is just a stunning work knife. And the reason I'm saying it's not just for the UK market for non-locking, this costs about £110 over here. I don't know what it costs in the States, but I'll bet you it's cheaper than any of the other S110V knives that are out there. You know, even in the States, if you get this S110V, the blue-handled one, it is just amazing. The knife can't close on you. So, again, if you're somewhere that can have locking knives and say, why would I have a folding knife when I can get a locking? This can't close on you. You've got your finger in a forward choil. It just can't go anywhere. Do you know what I mean? It just can't go anywhere. You can do it all day. It can't get to you. So don't be frightened that it's not long. But to get S110V in 1.6 in weight with a cutting edge of 2.5 inches, look how thin that stock is. That is a slicing machine, full flat ground. It is a slicing machine. And it's probably the knife, I would say, in whatever variant you get. It just depends. You'll get them cheaper when you're getting, I think they're down maybe £60-70 for the basic model. And Heine Haynes has one, I don't think I have it at the minute, an S30V. But the basic model, even the basic model in BD1, is an absolute great steal. And it's only about £60-70 in the UK. I don't know what it is. I'm sure they're cheaper over there in the States. But this one, an S110V, for me, it's an older chassis with a really modern steel on it that will cope with anything you want. And that's why I left that to the end, because to me, that is an outstanding older model that has been brought forward by nothing more than just changing the steel. Just changing the steel. It costs a bit more for it. Of course it does. You're getting a really good steel. Do you need this type of steel, S110V? Well, if you're a hard worker and a grafter and you want a knife that's going to last you for a full day, why not? That extra money gets you a steel that's easy to strap back again. Once you look, if you're a sharpener, you've no fear of it. It takes a great edge and lasts for donkeys. I wouldn't have any fear in sharpening it. There you go. There's my little run through knives that I believe, oldies but goodies, and every one of them I would highly recommend because I've had them, I've used them, and they have proved to be really good lasting knives. There you go. Be good, everybody. We Paddy's away. Thank you very much for watching, for all those who are helping us, feeding us, looking after us in this crazy time. Thank you very much indeed. I'm gone. Bye.